You lose one extra pair. That's all, but that's happening. Parach v'chazar, if it flies away and comes back, and another one comes back. Paisel echad b'alichasad v'echad b'chazirasei. What's happening here? Oh boy, this is we're not starting.
When the Rabbi says, "Oh boy,"
we're not starting from the first, second, and third. And we're not starting from the first and second. Now we're starting from the third. You see, what happened was we lost in the third one. We only had one remaining. Because we lost these two flew away and possibly came back, but every time they flew away, it possibled another bird that was remaining. So now, if it happens again, starting from the third, it flies again. So that means on the third and the fourth, return to being the first and the second. So hashlisis v'arvias ein lem klum, and hachamishes yesh la'achas. It restarts here. Hashisis yesh l'shtayim, v'ashvis yesh l'chamish. So it just goes back down one. Parach v'chazar, if it flies away and returns. Paisel echad b'alichasei v'echad b'chazirasei. Now we start from the fifth and the sixth. So if you remember, the third one was left with nothing, and the fourth one had nothing. So now we're on the fifth and the sixth, ein lem klum, because we're down to the last time for the fifth and the sixth. And hashishish ein lem klum, hashvias yesh la'arba. The seventh has 4, which means the seventh will have 2 groups left. The Yeshayimrim, and some say hashvias lo yafsida klum. Some say the seventh didn't lose anything. Let me take a look at your commentary Okay, the seventh has 4 valid pairs of bird offerings. So the Tanakama holds that the truth is that we're not offering any other sacrifices here other than the seventh, because it puzzled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So what was our issue? What was our issue? Our issue was, if you're going to shech from this group, you're going to mess up the other groups.
Yeah.
But once we get to the seventh, everything is puzzled, because they all went back and forth, back and forth. You puzzled the whole slew of nests. So there's only one.
They really should put nets on top of it.
Yeah, somebody came up with a business here. Katas all those cages.
So
It just takes one cone. It's
So
not
the-
good with math, and then the clown and trouble.
So the Tanakama is saying that the seventh one is still puzzled. The seventh one still has some that are puzzled, is only because of the decree that we said applies to the 1 and 2. That even though it doesn't really apply, but we're still applying that rule. But that's what would have happened if there were others that were becoming puzzled, and we wanted to shech some of them. However, Yeshayimrim that Ashvias Leiv see the klum. Some say the seventh one doesn't lose anything. You can shech the whole thing, because there is nothing else there. There's no other ones that are going to get ruined. Imparach min amesis the kulam. If one of the birds that was left to die that means that doesn't mean from the stumais. No, it must mean if there was a determined, or any bird that was determined flew into any bird that was determined and mixed flew into one of these mixtures, then kulayim musa, they all have to die.
Wow.
At least the last line makes sense.
Bird
Right.
terrorist.
Suicide. Okay.
Suicide bird.
Kanstuma, Mishnah Daled.
Do we understand why that was true? What you just said was true.
Yeah, that was based on the first parak. We learned that an Eily needs to be offered on top. Chatas needs to be offered below.
Right.
If they get mixed up,
One has to be left.
so they all have to be left to die. You
Doesn't
can't
matter.
offer anyone.
Doesn't matter at all.
So if one of those birds gets mixed into here, and we don't know which one it is, and it's predetermined, so anyone that I'm going to offer is going to be a problem.
This is all assumes we don't know. I don't know my birds. Like I haven't tagged them. I haven't.
Right.
This is just
Right.
completely.
Right.
Anonymous.
Do you know your bees?
No, but if I had tagged my birds, Ola, another bird flew in, I would just say shoe fly. Right.
Right, but if the tag fell off,
Oh.
Wow.
Now, what if they have other people tags it and said, so you have
Your
a
tag was like my tag.
Oh boy, personalized tag is a business.
They used to, I remember they used to tie something on
What if
the
they say
tree,
tag,
you know?
you're it?
Birds are smart. They
No.
switch tags on us.
they're all karbanas. They all have to be done malika in the. Yeah, the rush goes through when this happens, how they bring, when all of these mixtures, what they do, how they bring each one, and how they purchase the next ones for each other. He goes through all of that. That's the rush. The rush is slightly easier than the other commentaries here, actually. Okay, constum of a kan mefereshes. Let's say I have a constum and a kan mefereshes. So, mefereshes is easy. Mefereshes is it's determined already. It's designated. A chatas and an Eily. But this is stuma. This doesn't say what it is. So, parach min astuma lemefereshes. Let's say one over here flew to this one. So, these I know which one it is. So what's my confusion here? Whatever it is, yikach zug l'sheni, I'm gonna need it to get another one for here. Oisheparach min hafereshes rishain. How do you read that over there? Which one is undistinguishable? If it's designated, then which one is undefined? What happens is, according to one commentary here, originally they were defined by their location. When the third bird flew in, they lost their positions, and now we don't know. So what's going to happen is, what's number 3? So I'll take an additional bird as a pair mate for the second bird of the original undesignated pair. Only one undesignated bird is still valid. The 3 birds must be left to die. So what's left is, the remaining bird does not become invalidated. This bird doesn't become invalidated, even though we said that it would be invalidated in the previous Mishnah. Because if we shech this, it messes this up. But over here, this is already messed up, so this one can still be offered. What happens next? Chazar. If the bird flew back from the mixture,
That very one?
it doesn't say. Oy sheparach min hamefereshes rishon. If a bird flew initially from the designated pair into this one of those flew there, so then automatically we have a problem. They all must be left to die, because we don't know which one it was in there. That's going to mess us up as well. Okay, this is much easier then. Let's see the next case. Mishnah
It's
Hay.
easier to bring the mincha off if it doesn't fly well.
Give yourself a trophy.
Okay, now. Here, this I have a chatas, I have an Eily, and I have a stuma. So chatas mikan va'ila mikan stuma be'emtza. Parach min emtza litzdadim. Echad helech, v'echad helech. Does echad helech mean either way, or it means both ways? One bird to this side and one to that side. I was talking about that I have more than one. So I have a stuma. So one goes this way, one goes this way. So, lehipsit klon. You have no problem. Why? Because this one was anyways a chatas, and this one was anyways an oila. And the chatas and the oila were not confused. And these were undesignated. So big deal, it's all good. Ela yoimar, you should just say, Zeh shehalach etzel chatois chatas, Zeh shehalach etzel oilas is oila. Very good. Chazal liyamtza. Let's say a bird flies back to the middle, and a bird flies back from this one to the middle. So, the middle ones need to die, because we don't know which one here is a chatas and which one is an oila. But we still know that this is definitely a chatas and this is an oila.
They could be stumas.
But then you can designate.
Right.
Yeah. So, Eily yikrevu chatas ve'Eily yikrevu oilas. Chazar, let's say they go back. Let's say they go back. Now you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Because you don't know if the oila went there and the chatas went
It's
there.
a good game.
Then all of them are out, right?
All of them are out.
All of them have to die. Whatever.
That's what we have to talk about. You're in or you're out. I'm it. If I'm it or out.
Question.
Yeah.
Once the birds were designated, this is a chatos and this is an ola. It's a practical matter. You have to put some mark on the bird, or you have to recognize them,
Right.
or else you created a problem for yourself.
Right.
So now you have something that flies in. Why do I care? I know that this was my chatos and this was my ola.
Yeah.
And this one I don't know and I don't care.
Right. That was a problem in Mishnah Dalet.
So it takes me a while.
In Mishnah Dalet, that was they quote here two commentaries, two possibilities in Mishnah Dalet of how originally they were pre-designated birds, and how did they become undefinable by another bird flying in. They gave two options.
Unrecognizable.
Unrecognizable. One of their options is if it was by their location and the third bird caused them to move. That's one of their options.
Thank you.
Sorry for the delay.
The two pre-designated birds were confused with one another prior to the entry of the third bird. That's how the Mefarish says it.
But you've already got a problem in that case.
So we had a problem before, which the Mishnah didn't mention. Yeah, that's how the Mefarish learns it. The other shot, it seems more like what the Mishnah is saying.
When you started off with one on each side, you made the assumption, one was an Ola, one was a Chatas. You made the assumption that we've tagged them as such, so it shouldn't get confused. You just said that.
I assume you have to do something.
If you only have one bird and you're designating it, why would I have to tag it? The
Right.
problem was that all of a sudden, another bird came and confused things, but the assumption doesn't have to be an assumption because that's the only bird I have. And why do I need to?
We're talking about pairs.
No, but he started off, he had one and one
Yeah.
separately.
Yeah, it could be there was more than that, though. Yeah, let's do it like this. But anyway, it doesn't matter. These are both chatais. These are both oilas. And what happens is one flies to here. It's probably a different cage. One flies there and one flies there. So it's good. It's in the cage. The oila cage is in the chatas cage. Then they fly back. And now they're mixed up over here. In my undesignated cage. So these were put to death. Then they fly back. The last thing we learned was that they're all messed up.
Is it known? I know most of this postulation, but is it known how much this type of thing actually happened, or
No,
they
we
took
talk about that. It
precautions?
could have never happened. It could have never happened. It's an assumption.
Right,
It's a maybe. It could be.
right. We don't know.
This
We
happens
really don't know if it's happened or not, because I
Right.
would think. I
They
mean, you're
would solve
talking
the
about
problem.
I mean, look at these writings. Some of, the possibilities that come up, this, that. Hello, wouldn't the priests, once it's designated, well, one, wouldn't they have taken great care not to allow a bird to fly? I mean, we just did.
Does
We
this have
just
to be
did.
the
I used to
my-
handle the
That's what a
birds
shogeg is.
My
Right.
my
I used to
response
handle
is
the
that
birds in, for before Yom Kippur,
oh yeah, the
Yeah,
kaparas.
right.
We were
Yeah,
speaking this.
every so often
this
one
doesn't
got
have to be
out
the
of my
Beis
hands or
Hamikdash.
somebody's.
This doesn't have to be in the Beis Hamikdash. You could have designated two
Yeah.
sets in your own house.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah,
So it's forget
that's
the
true.
car.
Enough.
And then it gets mixed there. So yeah.
The other point is
That's a
that
good point.
the
So it's not even an issue.
the laws that we're learning here
He said
is
that.
the source for why they should need to be so careful in the temple.
Yeah, of course.
If we didn't have these laws, then you would say, what's the point? You wouldn't recognize all of the need. We need these laws in place, and now you're coming along and saying, oh, they need to be very careful in the temple. True, but
not
it's
just
because
him,
of
but
these
I would
laws.
think they would, if that once something's designated, even if it's not designated.
I was gonna say, yeah,
Well, yeah, maybe it doesn't matter so much who gave which ones, because
Good.
if someone comes to give two birds, I mean, I own a store, I have a pet shop, whatever, and somebody gives me a cat, a bird, whatever, to take care of. I'm
You
gonna-
have to mark it.
and I have 3 gray cats that all
Right.
look alike. I've got to mark it,
Right, right.
to know whose is whose.
Okay. It's
I
like
mean,
the
it's just
dog being
common
buried
sense.
in Israel. Right.
oh, that's you.
Okay. Let's finish this last mission.
Just finish.
Yeah. How many mistakes are we
scary.
finding out today?
Ein mevi'in tayrin keneged b'nei yaina, v'lei b'nei yaina keneged tayrin. There's 2 types of birds that could be offered as sacrifices. Oh, it's late. Do we have another minute to finish
Do
the
it,
parak?
come on, do
Let's
it.
go.
No
You're
question.
supposed to have the turtle doves and the doves as pairs. You don't have nix tar and a bnei yaina. So ketzad, v'isha shevia chatas tar v'elasa ben yaina. If a woman brings her chatas was a tar. Tar is a type of bird, probably a dove, a turtle dove maybe. V'elasa ben yaina, and her oila was a dove. So tichbal, she has to go back and v'tavi elasa tar. And she has to bring her oila as a tar because the chatas was brought first. It follows that the oila needs to go the same. Let's say oilasa tar v'chatasa ben yaina, tichbal v'tavia oilasa ben yaina. So this opinion is following the chatas, that the chatas is the one that's going to determine. Benazi yamer holchan achar rishon. Benazi says it doesn't follow the chatas. It follows whichever one was brought first. So in this last case that we mentioned, the oila was a tar. You redo the chatas, not redo the oila. Isha shevia chatasa. If a woman already brings her chatas, umesa, and the woman dies, so yavia yarshim oilasa, her inheritors can bring the oila. However, oilasa umesa, if only the oila was brought and then the woman died, lo yavia yarshim chatasa, the yarshim do not bring the chatas because it's the kapara comes already from her death. It doesn't need to be brought. Okay.
That was really helpful. Matt.
Now tomorrow.